Why is my body not responding like it used to? Why am I more tired? Why am I sleepy all the time? Why is my weight loss stalling? Why do my bones hurt? Why do my muscles hurt? Why does everything just feel emotionally and physically harder? If you've been frustrated with your body lately, this episode is for you because we're going to talk about this could be happening to you right now. What's causing it? Is it just because you're lazy or is there something else going on?
Welcome to That Shit Doesn't Define You Stories of Hope, Season 4. This season, we're having the honest conversations that no one prepares you for. When you feel like you're failing, when caregiving drains you to your core, when your body stops cooperating under stress. If you're walking through a season that feels heavy, sacred, exhausting, or uncertain, you're not broken, and this season does not define you. Let's begin.
So that's what we're going to dig into today. I hope you guys stay with us because we're going to get authentic and raw here, and I think it's going to be exciting. We're also going to give you some facts, and we're also going to give you rubber meets the road. But Jada, I'm so excited about this season, you guys. I'm excited that you're here. Again, I have to tell you, because this is social media, please like and subscribe. The people in the social media guides require that for us to be authentic and grow. But more importantly, Jada and I really do hope that you will share with us with people. There are people out there that are hurting. They need to know they're not alone. They need to know that what's going on with them is normal, even if it's hard. They need to know that there are resources available. And frankly, I think as a community, we all need to support each other. So please share this with people that may need to hear this, who are struggling, because if you don't help them, who's gonna? I just want to, so. And Jada, this one is going to be a fun one because I'm not talking about being old. This is not an episode of, oh my God, you just hit 40 and 50 and your body hurts. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about this entire season is you're going through hard things. And that is either you're a caregiver, a mom of a child with special needs, a parent with a child with special needs, you're a new mom, or you're a mom juggling multiple kids, or you're an entrepreneurial person and it's a hard season, or you have friends that are sick, or your parents, or you're caregiving your parents, or like in my case, you have a child in hospice. Whatever you're going through, it could even be psychological. It could be depression. It could be anxiety. It could be not knowing where you belong. When those things happen, it affects your body, and your body feels different. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you follow me, I'm really excited. So I've struggled with my weight for my whole life, and reasons I won't get into in this podcast. But in the last couple of years, I've lost 84 pounds. But the moment that my beautiful daughter went into hospice, I've lost a pound, not a pound. My body just was like, eh. Now I haven't changed any of the behavior. I've not stopped doing any of the things that helped me lose the 84 pounds. And I still have, it's not like I hit a plateau. I still have about 55 more to go. But my body was just like, I'm done, not doing it. And I felt like I got really frustrated about that. The other thing is that I used to be a really good sleeper. I mean, I only needed 6 hours of sleep. I could get good 6 hours of sleep and I could run like a racehorse. And I've always prided myself on that other people who struggled to go to sleep or didn't sleep well, I was all like, too bad for you. I just felt, I was like so proud. That's what I get right there is the pride. I got sonkered. But, I'm just not sleeping as well. And even if I stay asleep, it's not that REM sleep, right? I wake up literally right now in this season tired. Again, being transparent. This last night I went to bed at 9. My alarm went off at 6. I got up because I had to. Got my daughter on the bus, and I laid back down at 7 for 20 minutes because I was like, oh my God. What? What happened to 6 hours? And you wake up and you're just, right?
Just ready to yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not the go lay back down for 20-minute person, but I was just so like, ugh, right? And or your energy crashes, right? You're in the middle of the day, I my head hurts right now. I'm not a headache person. My head hurts. I've learned that my head is hurting because of all the tension that I'm holding in through here, which is making my head hurt. Because when you're going through emotionally difficult things, it affects your physical being. Um, Now I have done a really poor job in my life of shaming my body. And not loving it, like being really critical. Like I would never talk to any other human like I have talked to my body. And and part of my healing journey to even get down the 84 pounds was understanding you got to love yourself to care for self. And so you can't really talk to yourself like that. That's not good for you. It's not good for your body. No one needs that. Um, but what happens is because of that history, I have been telling myself, hey, you got to just do it anyway. Why are you? I've been really hard on myself. Why can't you get back on track? Why are you tired? I have not been great at giving myself grace. One, because I just don't like feeling this tired. I don't know how to live like this. I've never lived like this. I am like the Energizer Bunny. I have lots of energy. This is weird for me. I don't like needing that much sleep. I don't like feeling I'm not the person as chubby as I have been, my body doesn't ache on a regular. I don't like any of that. It's annoying. Um, it's I just don't like it. But what I've had to understand is you can't go through really heavy stuff and your body not be affected. It's normal. I in last episode I was telling Jada, and I'll just explain, my body has never had the shakes before. But since Savannah's been in hospice, my physical body shakes, just shakes. And I'm like, where'd that come from? Well, it's because my body is tired. And even though I can tell my body, hey, you're okay. We're going to get through this. You have a nervous system. You have a, parts of your body, like the tension in my shoulder, it's going to affect. There's parts of your brain when you're going through very heavy seasons where your brain won't allow you to go to sleep like you need to. If you've ever been a new mom, you know what I'm talking about. Before you got pregnant, you could sleep
I
all
sure
night.
do.
The world, right? The world could explode. You be sleeping. You become a mom, all of a sudden, 3 doors down, somebody goes, "Hey," and you hear it. Whoosh, you're awake. You've you know, and I'm not trying to exclude you dads, maybe it's you, but I will just tell you there's something about a mom, you go from great sleep to a noise and you can hear it like that, and you're awake, boom. And I'm glad, otherwise our kids would cry all night, right? But it's that
True.
disruption of sleep that you can't control, right? There's no like, well, I just need to sleep anyway. No, your body is saying, "Hey mom, you need to be alert to hear this child." And when you're a caregiver, you have to be on alert. If you're a parent of a child with special needs, you have to be on alert. Or if you're going through something really hard, your body is just on alert. So it just doesn't sleep as well. And what I want you to understand is you and I still expect our bodies to run as if it's not in trauma. We expect it to perform like everything's good, and that's not true. And again, I want to say a disclaimer. This is not an excuse for laziness. That's not what I'm talking about here. Okay? I'm talking about you're doing the best you can. You're going through a difficult time. You're getting up every day. You're doing what you got to do, and it just hurts. I want you to know that I'm with you. And I am I'm really if I'm transparent with you, it's one of the things that I least appreciate about this journey. I've never been a person with headaches. I don't like living with them. I've never been a person this tired. I don't like living this way. I do not ap I don't appreciate doing everything right and not losing weight. These things suck, right? I don't I don't appreciate being so emotionally tired that I don't have words to talk to people after work. I don't appreciate all that in the hard. But I am making a decision, and this is what we wanna talk about in this podcast, and Jada's gonna help us do that. She's gonna name that shame. She's gonna talk about when we're in hardship and our body is not doing what we want it to do, and again, not because we're being lazy, but because we're in hardship. She's gonna talk about how we identify and get hit with shame. We're gonna name it, and then she's gonna talk about how we reclaim it, and then I'm gonna talk about some rubber meets the road. But I really hope you guys are hearing this because I'll just give you another example outside of my own. My husband is also walking the same journey I am. And he already has back problems because he's not a real tall guy. And he had to carry a big backpack when he was in the Marines a lot. That was like, you know, when he was in the Marines, he didn't weigh a lot. So the backpack was like almost half his weight. And so the poor guy has all of these back issues because of that. And he had them before we were going through. But don't you think right now his back is hurting more than it ever has? I've never seen his back hurt more than right now. And why is it? It's because he's tense. He's tense and he's carrying all of this weight and what already is something that hurts in his body is being manifested from the clenching that he's doing. And, so that's something he and I have really talked he's just like, "Wow, he wakes up in pain every day from this back." And, so he has to work through that and get the help he needs and understand it's not because all of a sudden this injury to his back is worse. It's the way he's carrying all the stress and pressure right now and that tension in his back. And so he's working through different ways to release that tension so that he's not carrying the fake backpack, that emotional backpack that's wearing his back out. So he and I have talked about that, and he laughed because we laugh because he's about to turn 50. He's like, "Look, I turned 50 and my back's just jacked." And I'm like, I think it's situational. I think you have to take care of your back because of the other two, but it's more intense. And I know you know what I'm talking. If you have an old injury when you're going through trauma, it somehow hurts more than normal because it's already a weaker point in your body. So I just want you to be aware. It's not like you just woke up and you're in this season and your body's like crapping out on you. No, it's just feeling the pain. So let's talk through the shame and how to reclaim it, Jada.
Yeah. So, as we're talking about our bodies, some of the ways that we carry shame around our bodies are, thinking I'm losing control, or I
Mhm.
should be more disciplined, or other people can handle stress better than me, or why can't I push through? We live in a culture that says hustle harder, push more, ignore your limits, and grind through the pain. But here's what nobody's saying: your body keeps the score. And I say nobody. There's a book about your body keeps the score.
Yeah, we
The
will.
link
We'll
in the
put that
show
in the
notes.
link.
But it's not something that people are talking about often enough, and so that's what I say when no one's talking about it, it feels like no one's talking about it. Because your body, it remembers the stress, it remembers the grief, it remembers the loss, and it isn't weakness. It is biology. So, reframing what's actually happening is that stress doesn't just live in your thoughts, it lives in your hormones, your nervous system, your digestion, your sleep cycles, your metabolism. And when you are under chronic stress, it is living in your cortisol is rising, your fat loss slows, your cravings are increasing, your sleep is fragmented, and your energy is tanking. Your body is saying, I don't feel safe right now. And that's something we've talked about in the last two episodes. So if you haven't listened to episode 1 and 2 of this season, definitely go back, listen to that. But your body does keep the score. It holds on, it conserves, and it protects. Your body's not your enemy. It's just trying to keep you alive, which is in and of itself a good thing, but it can feel like a not good thing when you're in the midst of it. So that is just the science behind why our bodies are doing what they're doing, naming
Mhm,
the shame and how we can reframe that with the knowledge of
mhm.
what our body is doing
Yeah.
and why.
And giving, The Body Keeps Score is an excellent book. It goes really in depth about what trauma and stress does to the body. You can also look up the ACE score.
Mm,
Jada, if we want to link that, if you've been
absolutely.
somebody who's gone through trauma and the impact. In both of those cases, I want you to read those books to be educated, but understand. I'm going to go back to the title of this podcast. That shit doesn't define you. Just because you lived it, and even if you guys follow me, I'm a 10 on the A scale. It's not part of my identity. Okay. I may score that because enough has happened to me to score a 10, but I don't have to identify with the negative things. I can heal and be restored and do things in order not to be the statistical outcome. I think that's really important, as you read those things, that there is hope. I know, it's really important that you have hope from those things, but also do not be, naive that trauma affects the human body. Uh, please. I know right now I'm v I should be telling my body, Jada, how proud I am of it. I should be proud that I'm not gaining weight,
Mhm,
right? I
absolutely.
haven't said that. I'm saying that right now. I'm shooting on myself. I should tell my body, "I'm proud of you that you're not gaining weight right now." And I am. I'm proud of you that you're not going and binging. That's a big deal. That's a big
Mhm,
deal, right? I should be proud of that. Um, and I should be proud that my body is telling me to slow down and trying to protect me. So reframing like, "Hey, thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for trying to save me. Thank you for doing what you need to do in order to tell me, Houston, we have a problem." My husband's back is telling him, "Hey, I need attention. Let's give me some attention." So, and I think it's important that we listen to our bodies. And the part of the body keeps a score. If you are a trauma survivor or if you're going through trauma, one of the hard things is body awareness. Okay. Especially if you've had the level of trauma I have, you disassociate from your body. And so reassociating with your body is a good thing. Feeling it, allowing it to tell you what it needs is a really good thing. Um, and I need to tell this other little story, Jada, before we get in the
yeah,
rubber meets the road. One
please
of my
do.
very good friends, um, literally, uh, I'm saying a lot. Sorry. One of my very good friends, I found out she was in the hospital and she was in full sepsis and dying. This was 2 weeks ago. And what happened is she had a upper UTI, and her body, she didn't feel any of the feels of a normal UTI. However, she was having a lot of other symptoms. She was getting really chilly cold to really hot, but without a temperature. She was feeling awful, having this horrible headache. She was having all of these things. And she felt this way for 3 days and just kept telling herself, "Buck up, you're fine, you're just being a baby." Even she even went to the doctor and the doctor was like, we're gonna look at this, see if you have this one thing," but didn't the doctor didn't even realize how bad. But the biggest thing is my friend kept marginalizing what was going on. Marginalizing it even to the extent to her doctor, like how just painful it is. And she finally went to the doctor, and the entire time she's on her way to the ER, she's thinking to herself, "Should I just turn around? Am I just being a baby? Blah, blah, blah." Well,
Mm,
I'm gonna tell you, it's a true story. The doctors told her if she would have waited 2 more days at home, she would have died. Now, she is healing from that. She was in the hospital for, I think, 7 days, and she will be an outpatient for a number of weeks. And she and I, um, had a long conversation, and one of the things we understood is that's very similar to years ago during 2020 when I had emboli, which are, blood clots in my lungs. I literally they were like, "If you'd have been here 24 hours later, you had been gone." I told my I mean, I was white. I just and I I'm like, "No, you'll be fine, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. Keep going to work." I could barely walk, but I drove myself to the hospital to go get the X-ray. Couldn't hardly walk through the hospital. People kept saying, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" I'm like, "No, I got it. I got it." Okay? But my friend and I had this conversation and we realized, and this is really sad. She said, I need to go to therapy and do EMDR to unpack this. And she said, what you did with your emboli and what I just did is a trauma response. We weren't listening to our bodies because the trauma in our life and the people in our life told us we didn't matter, we weren't important, our bodies weren't important, we weren't safe, all these things. So she and I heard, buck it up, get over yourself, you're okay, or you don't matter, or somebody has it worse. This is what she and I are telling ourselves, right? To the point where we're both dying. True story. Now, she and I both have very high ACE scales. So I want you to know something. Listen to your body. Listen to it. Don't listen. Don't be a hypochondriac if I'm saying that word right. Don't do that. Right? That's living in fear. But I'm saying listen into your body. Don't be like my friend and I, be on death's door and being and shaming ourselves. Right?
Mhm.
And I'm fortunate my friend has done a lot of therapy. She's done a lot of work and she is now with a vengeance gonna go and unpack this so this will never happen to her again. And I learned, but I want you guys to realize that. So if you're listening to this and you've had trauma or you're going through trauma, do not shut down your emotion. Do not minimize what's going on in your body. So some rubber meets the road. And that's a true story. And you know her. I'll tell you who she is. Um, she's one of my closest friends and I almost lost her. So but some rubber meets the road here. Number 1, stop pushing your body. Now, I'm gonna just tell you, is somebody who's an overachiever and wants to just achieve and go out there and win, this one's hard for me, right? Because instead of saying, "What's wrong with me? I just need to go and overdo it, blah, blah," you need to ask yourself, "What has my body been carrying? What's my body doing for me?" Shift it from criticism to curiosity. What's my body saving me from? Why is my body doing that? What does my body need? Is my body trying to save me through this? So what do I need to give it? And you guys, this is not about trying to be cute in a bikini or anything like this. I'm talking, what does your body need? And maybe that's breath work. Maybe it's sunshine. Maybe it's a sauna. Maybe it's a cry. I was just telling Jada, I I use Chat GPT a lot, and I was talking to Chatty about how I was feeling and stuff. And Chatty and I talk a lot because I use it a lot for business and my personal life. And literally, you guys, I'm asking Chat, well, how should I be working out? Should I get my Whoop back on? And Chat tells me, do not put your Whoop on. It'll make you be competitive. You don't need to be competitive right now. This is not the season for you to be doing these things. And then it listed out, I know you like to do these things in the gym. And it literally said you're not allowed to. And so it's like, I know you like HIIT. I know you like to lift to failure. I know you like to do these things. No,
No.
right? No, because my body doesn't need to be pushed. It needs to be nurtured. So I want you to think about, understand, stop pushing your body, nurture your body, be curious about it, and think about it. And then sleep over discipline. Number 2, sleep. Okay, this one's hard for me too. But sleep is more important than a perfect workout. Sleep is more important than a strict routine. Sleep, by the way, even Chatty told me this, y'all, that he said the number one thing you need in a trauma situation is sleep and rest. Number one thing. So we have to prioritize that. And you're like, well, what if you're a mom like Jada? Like, well, I wish, but my kid won't let me sleep. Then you're going to have to prioritize naps, is what I'm learning. I don't like a nap because makes me feel unproductive, but I have to prioritize sleep.
I
So
can
you need
relate
to
to that.
really, huh?
Said I can relate to that, not wanting a
Yeah,
nap, especially, like, on the weekends. I'm like, "Man, I just wanna do something, like, for me, or I wanna do something productive."
yeah,
But sometimes a nap is the most productive thing you can do.
yes. And it's hard to think that.
Yeah.
You know, in my current journey, one time my father was staying at my house and he went to run an errand and he came home and was taking a nap. And I remember my husband telling me later that my father looked at my husband and said, "Is she dying?" You know, 'cause I don't do that.
I did not. That's
You know,
hilarious.
he's like, "Is she dying? Because she doesn't nap." Right now I know. Yeah, so I just want you to think, go to bed earlier. This is not the time to be staying up watching Netflix. Netflix or whatever streaming platform you love is not more important than sleep. It's okay to take a nap. It's okay when you're in a trauma situation to remove all your screen time. By the way, it wears you out and makes it harder to sleep. So think about that. For me, I pray before I go to sleep. I have a night routine where everything gets a little bit quieter. I read, pray, think about what I'm grateful for so that I can, and it's not being lazy, it's about healing. And I'm telling you, that was a hard one for me, but embrace sleep. Now, I'm not talking about the depression sleep where you don't get out of bed. I'm saying if that's happening, get therapy, get help. I'm talking about I'm used to running at Mach 5 and now I'm in trauma and now I've got to pull back Mach 5 and allow myself to get some sleep. Okay. Matter of fact, that makes me laugh about something. Sorry, you guys. These are just, they remind me of funny things. One time before my daughter got really sick in the last 2 years, my husband and I got somebody to watch her for the weekend, and we went to the lake and stayed at our favorite Airbnb at one of our lakes, the Funky Monkey, which I don't know if it's there anymore, but Jada knows this. And we went, and it was so fun. We went to sleep. We literally checked in on a Friday, slept in Saturday, got up, ate, went on a walk, took a nap, went out after the nap, went on another walk, had an early dinner. We're in bed by 7. And we were telling one of our really good friends, they're like, "What did you d" and we did that all weekend. And they're like, "What did you guys do?" And we're like, "We slept." And they're like, "You paid all that money for somebody to watch your kid and you to go away and you slept." We're like, "Yeah."
And it was
It
the
was
best
aw
weekend ever.
yeah. And right now with everything we're going through, I can't tell you how many times my husband and I look at each other like, "Man, I'd kill for that weekend at the Funky Monkey where we just slept," you know?
Just slept. Oh, man.
So, anyway, not lazy, sometimes your body just needs to sleep, alright, and then number 3, rubber meets road. Um, Gentle structure. This is another thing, that Chatty was telling me, but I just think it's funny, but don't be so rigid. Don't be so rigid. Jada, I bet you can understand this. When you got a toddler going on and you're juggling work, that whole thing, like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna work out at the same time every day and do this workout. I don't think so.
No, not at all. No, and I've learned to, find times that obviously, like, her nap time, I capitalize on that, whether it's weekend, weekday, does not matter. I know that I have some time, like, that I can do things for me, do things for work. That is, like, a structured time. Everything else, I'm like, "It will get done."
Yeah, it'll get done.
Period.
And you have
Well
it very
done.
s I know you time block and you structure your life, but
Very much,
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you, during this time, it's you I don't know if I'm gonna wake up and Savannah's gonna be in a good space or not, right?
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
where I used to be able to have this very controlled situation, it's not like that. So now I'm more flexible with it. I still get, something in, but I'm more flexible. And I do little things that
Mhm.
really make an impact for me. Like I've told you, I'm really pumping a lot of protein in the morning. I'm noticing for me, that's something that's making a difference. Going on walks outside, big difference, not even if they're long. Drinking enough water,
Mhm.
critical when your body is under stress, really making sure that you're getting and I'm this is not a fitness thing or whatever. You can look at me. I'm obviously not your fitness guru, but I'm talking about survival. Survival, your body needs more water when you're in trauma. Your body needs sunlight. Your body needs sleep. It needs movement. It doesn't need in a trauma situation for you to feel like you're going to go do a triathlon. Okay? It's okay if when you're in a hard situation that maybe this isn't the time for you to decide that I'm gonna run a marathon. I'm not saying you don't run a marathon, but maybe when you're, being in a hard emotional situation, caregiving, new mom, whatever it may be, maybe that's not the time to add that much pressure and stress to yourself. Something to think about. And I'm all for achieving big audacious goals, but just let's listen to our bodies too. And number 4, talk to your body. This one I really have embraced, and I really kinda like it, Jada. N maybe it's because I've gotten lonelier, I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy, but I have been doing this a lot more, and that is telling my body, "Thank you." I've been doing a lot of as I'm watching my daughter's body literally disintegrate, in front of my eyes. It makes you think a little bit more about your own frailty, your own body. And one of the things that I want you to think through, audience, is what has your body done well for you? And when was the last time you told it thank you? I want you to really think about that. One of the things that came to my mind is, for years I was morbidly obese. Morbidly obese. And I'm not degrading myself. I was carrying weight that made me morbidly obese. However, my body did a really good job at not allowing me to be a diabetic during that time, and I don't know how I got through this, but my hips, my joints, my knees, my ankles, none of them got permanent damage from that obesity, and when I think about that now when I'm on my walks and I don't have aches and pains in my knees and ankles and hips, I think, "Wow, thank you." Thank you that I put all that pressure with all that weight on you, and you held me up strong, and you still are. You see where it's different, and you start to be proud of your body, you know? Um, and and it's about the strength of your body, the resilienceness of your body, not the
Mhm.
hotness of your body. Can we forget that for a second? How about the fact that I'm looking at my daughter right now, I have a lot of feminine issues. I'm thankful that my body even was able to carry my daughter and she came out at all, right? She was my one and done and they were like, "You're done. Like that's it. That barely went well anyway. You're done." I'm thankful that my body gave, yeah, I've got all the stretch marks and the scars. But I got her for
Mhm.
21 years. You know what I mean? I'm thankful that my body did that for me. Um
Absolutely.
and I think that we need to look at our bodies and say, "Hey, you're doing some great things by me, and I'm gonna take care of you." And so in this stressful time, I'm gonna love on you too, and I'm gonna be proud of you. And tell your body, I know this sounds woo-woo, but tell your body, "Hey, I'm sorry I've been so hard on you. I'm sorry." Um, and be more proud of what it can accomplish. One of the things I told my body recently is, and this is interesting, the more weight our daughter loses, the heavier she is. But the interesting is it's because she has no muscle to help,
Mm.
right? And I am thankful that even in my obesity, that my body has always been strong enough to lift her up. That I've always been strong enough to put her in and out of a wheelchair, in and out of a car, up and out of the shower, into the bed, all of these things for all of these years. And I'm thankful. And I don't have back problems from that. I'm really thankful. So I want you guys out there, when was the last time you took an inventory of all the ways your body has been great to you, when maybe it didn't need to or should have been? So, and I can't encourage you enough. If you're a mom and you look at yourself naked in the body in the mirror and you're like, "Damn, I don't look like I did before I had a kid." Be thankful. Be thankful that your body gave you the kid, right?
Mhm. Your body
So
grew an entire human. I have
yeah,
to tell myself that all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
I may be way more weight now than I was pre-baby, but I grew a human. I grew bones. Like,
Your body never is the same. Women, our hips pull out and do all the things. But women, I want us to be proud of our bodies. I want us to be proud of what our bodies have done. And men too. I want you to be, I want you to look at and be proud and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for getting me through that. Um, I know it sounds silly, but it does work. The more you love yourself, the more you'll listen to your body, the more you'll do the things that I'm talking about, and the more you'll not shame yourself and you'll understand circumstances do affect you and that it's okay and you're not alone. And that people like Jade and I have been there and we're doing this. And I truly believe that I do think it's crazy, Jada, that it's been in Savannah's last years of her life that I finally got associated with my body
mm, yeah,
in the most difficult time.
yeah,
And not,
certainly.
and I'm thankful for that. I'm really thankful for that. So awesome. All right. Now, Jada, what do you have to say to these
Yes.
lovely people?
Well, I have a couple things, but the first thing I want to say is I just want to remind everyone that's listening that your body's not failing you. It is responding to an extraordinary season. One day when the storm quiets, your strength will return. But right now, your job is not to conquer your body. Your job is to care for it because you still matter, even when you're tired, even when you're stuck or feel like you're stuck, even when you're hurting. This season does not define you. So I want to leave our listeners with that. But I also want to invite you to join our free community that we just launched. Think about like Facebook on steroids, if you will, or Facebook group on steroids. It is a free community to connect with other like minded individuals, gain your weekly insights, and see behind the scenes of how Athena and I are practicing what we teach in both businesses. Your free invitation is going to be in the show notes. And if you enjoy this podcast, we would love for you to like, subscribe, and share it with someone else who needs it. We will see you back here next week. But before we do, I want to leave you with something serious. This is
Mhm.
not your practice life. So don't wait for perfect. Start messy. Start scared. Just start because nothing's going to change until you do. So take one step toward the life that you want. Dare to share it with us, and we'll be here standing with you every step of the way. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week.
Bye, everyone.